Hi, hi, hi. This is really an interesting subject, crazy, interesting, controversial subject out of Pennsylvania, the University of Pennsylvania or UPenn. This swimmer, like 22 years old swimmer named Leah Thomas, I think transgender swimmer. She out of Texas, originally from Texas. I think she's 22 years old. She transitioned within the, I don't know, past year. According to the new NCAA rules, after taking hormones for 1 year, a male student transitioning to female can then compete with female students. But since the transition, this student athlete been breaking all records, uh, you know, and students like female athlete students at UPenn wanted to protest against it because, according to them, their colleague was taking the shine from them, taking places, opportunities for female-born athletes, but they decided against it because they didn't want to be seen as transphobic. Imagine UPenn, all those female students must be like on the left, woke, but they themselves can see that was not really fair to them, but still they have to bite their tongue because they don't want to be accused of being transphobic. This is really science wise, it's not a complicated subject. Sports, male born, female born, athletes cannot compete together. They cannot compete fairly together. But beyond sports, yeah, you have to be sensitive about things. People have the right to feel the way they feel, or the way they perceive themselves, or the way they feel in their body. You're not in their body. You're not there. You cannot tell them what to feel or how to feel about themselves or how to identify themselves. But if you play any sports, men and women are different. If you played even any physical activity, if you had sisters, older sisters, I have an older sister. She's 4 years older than me. When I was like 3, 4, and when I was 4, she was 8. And my dad would say, "Oh, leave your brother alone." But when I was 8 and she was 12, my dad started telling me to leave her alone because it's just different. It's not the same like body. When we start developing, we're not the same anymore. You can see boys, little boys, like up until 6, 7, still playing with little girls. It's okay. They're all the same. But when they pass that level, they start getting like around puberty. Like it's not. They cannot play anymore. Even like they cannot even jokingly play because if the boys touch them, it's gonna hurt. It's not the same physicality. It's not the same bone structure. And this student athlete, Leah Thomas, competed for years just as an average male athlete. But then you start taking hormones 1 year into it. Yeah, you qualified according to the rules of the NCAA, and you start breaking all kind of record in the swimming pool. You start breaking all kind of record. That's taken away from female-born students. That's taken away from them. But nobody really, even on the college campus, nobody want to talk about it. It's not a simple subject. Nobody really know like which way we're gonna go with this. But it's not really gonna affect men's sport as much because a female-born athlete transitioning into being a male athlete, it's not gonna change anything. The athlete won't even qualify. If a female-born athlete decides to transition and play in the NBA tomorrow, he won't be drafted. He won't be drafted. He won't even play college basketball. So it's not gonna, but it's gonna definitely destroy female sports. I don't know what's the solution. I have no idea what they're gonna do to solve this. But I don't even think the IOC, the rest of the world will go with America on this. I don't think the Olympics will go for this because you got many countries that won't go for, because it's not fair. Like, if we can, there won't be no female sports anymore. There won't be no female sports anymore. And you have all these feminists out here. They're supposed to be pro-woman, but they're not really talking about this. Because I remember one of the greatest tennis players ever, Martina Navratilova, who happens to be a lesbian, who is a hero. She came out when nobody was coming out. I think in the 80s, she came out in the 80s when nobody on that level was coming out. Either in sports or even in Hollywood, nobody was coming out. Even like you had artists hiding their sexuality at that time. But when she talks about tennis and it's being unfair to allow male-born tennis players to transition and play against female, even her, people were canceling her. People wanted her canceled. Martina Navratilova, who's a hero for lesbian and gays and LGBT, that community. This is crazy. I'm telling you, the student that Leah Thomas in UPenn, she's breaking records. She's breaking records. We can respect people, respect them in their choice, in how they feel in their body. That's on them. We can respect them. But where is this going to stop? We're going to start putting boxers, man boxers, to fight girls, like men transitioning, Anyway, all this wording is complicated, but like we have to be respectful and mindful. Men transitioning into female, like to box with female, natural born female, or do UFC with them, or where it's gonna stop, or play soccer, or play basketball. It's not gonna affect men's sports. It's not gonna affect men's sports because if you're natural born female transitioning into being a man, you can make it in professional men's sports. You can even make it in most college men's sports. You can make it. So it's not going to affect, it's not going to be unfair to men, but it's definitely going to be unfair to women. And I don't understand feminists being quiet. And J.K. Rowling too. J.K. Rowling from the UK, the author of Harry Potter, even her, she got cancelled by the liberals for speaking up for women, for women's sports, for women identity, natural born women, for their identity as just natural born women, not denying other people their own identity, but like there's something specific about being a natural born female. This Title IX thing back in the 70s, it helped women's sports a lot, imposing all the colleges. If you have one sport for men, you gotta have the same sport for women. That helped women a lot in America. That's why America is dominating like soccer when the rest of the world can't even catch up still in women's soccer. Because America, any sport you have in one college for men, you gotta have the same sport for women. It's always been like that since the 70s. And that helped American women play sport, gain scholarships to go to colleges. Poor girls from urban areas or from rural areas get scholarship to go to colleges. Imagine a black girl from the inner cities. Her parents don't have the money, but she's good at track and field. She can make it to UPenn, even though she don't have the money, but she can get full ride. Imagine a natural born boy transitioning into a female, taking that opportunity away from her. But it's cricket. Nobody want to talk about it. It's sad. We have to be respectful. It's a new thing. We don't really know which direction, if they're going to create a third. If they're going to create special categories for male transgender, female transgender, I don't know how they're going to do. We want everybody included, but at the same time, we don't want it done at the expense of our sisters, our daughters, our cousins. We don't want that. We don't want it be. We don't want that. I know feminists want to be allies with the other minorities, like the LGBTQ, but this is not pro-woman. Being quiet on this is not pro-woman. It's not pro-black woman, because a lot of these scholarships, not swimming, but when you talk about basketball, you talk about a track and field, you talk about a lot of these things, a lot of these opportunities, volleyball, will be taken away from black girls, natural born black girls who are already struggling, and natural born white girls too, because you have lacrosse, you got swimming. This Leah Thomas, she gonna go, if the Olympics let her go, she gonna be all the female record in the books, because for 3 years in college, she was competing as a man for 3 years in college. It's just within the past year, taking the hormone for a year, and then started competing with the girls. We respect the transition, but sports is different. It's never gonna be the same. It's never gonna be the same. It's never gonna be the same. There's a difference in bone structure. There's a difference. Imagine, you're gonna see the picture on the thumbnail.